What is going on, guys? The name's D Free from Dueling Central. I know it's been a few days since I've uploaded, and I know that there is some information coming into the game, like Arcana's event and stuff like that. So at the time of this, all that stuff isn't live, but I will say that I may go ahead and postpone this video in favor of an Arcana-based video or something like that when he drops tomorrow. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy it regardless. Have an awesome day, and let's go ahead and talk about the deck. So this is the deck that we're using. I've only have one insight, right? So this is the newest card Joey drops, Red Eye's Insight. Feel free to pause the video and read it. Very, very good card. Allows you to combo into a mill from your deck and a Red Eye's Spirit. So Red Eye's Spirit allows you to bring out the milled card that you send from the deck to the graveyard. Of course, 3 cards of the red stone, 2 enemy controllers. I am a little bit iffy on Exploder Dragon. He's kind of just here for a couple different reasons. He's Vanguard of the Dragon fodder. I can send him to the graveyard for that to buff this guy up if I want to, or if I get in a situation where like I can't handle some boss monster they have, I can basically send him out there to explode all over them. As that didn't sound right at all, but you know what I mean. We have Red Eye Zombie Dragon 2 to act as a secondary boss monster in the deck and fodder for Red Eye Spirit and cards of the red stone, excuse me. And then, of course, the 3 Wyverns, which one of them's glossy. That's awesome. But the Wyvern, this is a very pay-to-play deck, of course. But the Wyvern allows me to basically bring out those monsters multiple times over. So if they get destroyed after Spirit or whatever, it allows me to bring them out. So I've got some replays of some really good deck duels. So we're going to actually look at this latest one. I think this one was where I went up against Nura Beatdown. It didn't look that way for like the first couple of turns, but after like a couple turns and he started getting his combos going, I was like, oh snap, this is actually really close. And this deck is really cool because it, I was talking to some of my friends and, they want to probably incorporate a couple different cards in it for a different couple of reasons, but I like to just go full turbo, man. I want to go speedy. So I'm going ahead and using the cards of the Redstone, and I set the Exploder Dragon because I did have the option. He attacked into it. The Jerry Beans man dropped, and I now have another cards here. I'm not going to quit, excuse me. All right, so let me go ahead and just pause it, right? I use Red Eye's Insight. If you go ahead and take a look, you can't take a look, but if you rewind it, I now have several boss monsters in my grave. I have an enemy controller. I have a spirit. I'm going to get another spirit with the Red Eye's Insight. All right, so we're going to get another one in, and we sent the Wyvern that time because Wyvern in the grave, if I get in a situation where, like, for example, I don't play this Wyvern in my hand, I can just set this Red Eye Spirit. It'll be the end phase, and all of a sudden, I can use Wyvern's effect at the end phase to bring out another monster, and then on their turn or whatever, the following turn, I could have 3 monsters potentially. So that's where the Red Eyes deck is so scary, right? So I have 2 Red Eye Spirits here and Wyvern's effect, if all the requisites are in the graveyard. But of course, I couldn't handle the fact that he was wide open. I went for that direct damage. And now is where he starts to get it in. So Marin, right, Naturia Marin is really good. It allows him to send 1 card from his deck to the graveyard. The second half of the effect isn't really necessary. He went ahead and sent a Stag Beetle to the grave, but in doing that, he can special summon the Naturia monster from his hand, and it's going to be, I forget that one's name, the Hydrantia, whatever. But in doing that, he now has a monster that fits the requisite for Beatdown, in which he used the Beatdown, and he moved in to attack on my Wyvern, but of course, enemy controller stopped that, and he's going to end his turn here. And I now have the ability to use Red Eye Spirit. So there goes Red Eye Spirit. Into the regular Red Eyes, I go for the offensive play with the Beatdown on my own, right? And he has a Headlong. I have the Spirit still set down. And the tricky thing is, so let me go ahead and say this really quick. The Headlong says for this turn. At this time, I was like, oh, I can just Red Eye Spirit. I may have, I don't know if I have a zombie in my graveyard, but this is where Red Eye Zombie is really good. Because if I have a Red Eye Zombie in my graveyard, I can Red Eye Spirit to the zombie and then wind up knocking that thing off. If I do, I should have, right, in the battle phase, which I don't know at the moment. You guys will have to rewind that. But if I do, I should have in the battle phase, and I could have won the following turn. He couldn't have stopped me, right? So that's a misplay if I did. But either way, Rush Headlong is really good because it walls out all dragons. So if this thing battles any sort of dragon for that entire turn, it's shut down, right? So let's go ahead and proceed. So I did have one. Damn it, that was a misplay. All right, so I use the Wyvern's effect to bring out the zombie because the funny thing is I brought out the zombie because I realized that I wanted to have a zombie monster out there because I knew that he was going to go for that. And he basically takes full control of the board here. But I have the spirit down and I just kind of let him go directly because it won't beat me. And I draw into another Red Eyes. I didn't want that. I actually wanted another card with the Red Stone, but that allows me to go for lethal there, basically due to the beatdown effect. Exactly 0 life points. So that was probably the most epic duel that this deck has had. I do have a couple of other examples that may go really fast, but they're basically this deck overwhelming the opponent incredibly fast, right? That's basically what it does. Is it goes out. We played against like a Korean player, okay, or Japanese. I think it's Korean. But basically, the deck overwhelms them. You know, it goes in a position where it's like, okay, Red Eyes, cards of the Red Stone, boom, 2 cards, mill off from the deck, Red Eye Spirit, Red Eye Spirit, Red Eye Spirit, Red Eyes Wyvern, 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 and you're good. And Vigilance would be a really good card in this deck. I just don't really have the necessity for it. So there we go again with the Red Eyes Insight. Set the Red Eyes from the deck. I'm going to go ahead and get a Spirit. Now I have 2 Spirits. I only have 1 Insight, but I don't think you really need... I mean, you could do 2. I don't know if that'll really particularly speed the deck up. I set both of my Spirits. I set the Spirit and the Econ, actually. Excuse me. But I don't know how much that'll actually speed the deck up. So he thought he was going direct. I brought back my Red Eyes to protect my life points, of course. And he's not going to do anything here. We're going to go card of the Red Stone. He's going to use Ultimate Providence. So by using Ultimate Providence, that is such a good card because you can negate just about anything as long as you can discard 1 card from your hand equal to what you're trying to negate. So he discards Legendary Ocean to negate my cards of the Red Stone. It's a 1-for-1. As you see here, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated. So just about anything, right? The only thing it can't do is stop like a summon. That's the only thing. It is a Divine Wrath. It's a Magic Jammer. It's a, it's a 7 Tools of the Bandit or whatever equivalent. You can negate it as long as you can discard the same type of card. That is a very good card. So he does negate my cards with Red Stone, but it doesn't matter to me because I still have the Beatdown. This is why I run Beatdown. I like to use Restart to try to force myself to get cards with Red Stone and either a Red Eyes or Red Eyes Zombie. But it's very good to get the Beatdown too because it allows Red Eyes to get over other boss monsters. And at this point, he had no way to stop this. I'm going to go for the Beatdown here. They're going to be at 3,000 attack, and that's game. That is game. And I don't really ever have to use the Wyvern combo. I did, I think, in the previous duel replay I showed. I don't have to use that Wyvern combo very often because the deck just basically overwhelms people, right? Let's go ahead and show this one off. But if I do get in a situation, the cool thing is that Red Eyes Insight will let you to send, it will allow you to send from your deck to the graveyard a Red Eyes Wyvern. So, like I said, that can be another combo piece. You can send a Red Eyes Wyvern, maybe you already have a couple Red Eyes there, and all of a sudden, if you didn't summon, you know, you can special summon, by the way, you just can't normal summon or set to trigger Wyvern's effect. But all of a sudden, you could have a Red Eyes Zombie and Red Eyes Black Dragon on the field the following turn, due to Wyvern and Spirit. So again, cards the Red Stone, and we actually drew Exploder Dragon this time around. I'm not going to use him, I don't think. But I'm going offensive there. The Flamevell Grungia cannot do anything to stop us. So the Wicked Breaking Flameberg, I'm going to let that go through. I don't have a way to stop it, actually. But that doesn't particularly matter. And we're going to play the Vanguard, send that off, and look at how this all comes together. Look at how it comes together, baby. Into the Beatdown. Into utter destruction. Oh man, yeah, that's Wyvern and the Red Eyes deck at its best. The Red Eyes deck is like literally tier 0 because of stuff like that. It has the, I'm not gonna show the other replays. It has the ability to massively overwhelm the opposition. And like I said, let's go ahead and look at some of the cards that could possibly be replaced in here. Exploder Dragon, I don't know what I'm going to drop him for. I'll think about other things. Maybe a third Vanguard. I don't know. Maybe Super Rush Headlong. You know what I would do is if I got a second Insight, I would probably drop him for the second Insight because I just feel like there's one slot in this deck. You know, it could go to that third Econ. I don't really need it, though. Most of the time, you just don't need the defense with a deck like this. So anyways, that's it. Kaiba deck. No. Red eyes, all caps too, on slot. I feel like that's how you spell it right. Maybe I spelled it completely wrong. But they're about to start maintenance in a minute. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new to the channel, punch the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.